All right, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a look at a 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EUV. Let's take a look. All right, let's start off with the front of the Bolt EUV. As you can see, it's looked really nice. It's got those daytime running LEDs up front, and then the main headlight LEDs are just on the bottom there. 17-inch rims that are very good with the noise. You don't hear a lot of road noise on the Bolt EUV this year. Nice blacked out badge there, and really nice little bit of a vent there where you can have the battery cooling. Just an overall effective front end. Now taking a look at the side of the Bolt EUV, you can see its compactness. You can see compared to the normal Bolt, it's a little bit bigger, and I like that. I like the bigness. I think this is the one I would go with regardless of having both trims. I think you can get away with this one the best. You got some nice design rims, again with that blacked out Chevrolet badge. Some nice chrome on the doors here, and we have a one-touch lock and unlock. It's a physical button, not just a sensor, so it doesn't freeze in the winter, which is great. A little bit of chrome on the bottom, chrome door handles, a little bit of piano black, but I like the way the blue meshes with the black in this case. Very nice overall. On the side as well, we have a charge port here. You just pop that open, and then that's where you plug your normal charger in, but you can flip this little orange thing down, and then you can plug your supercharging into there. Very simple. You don't have to back up. You just drive right in, and there it is. So this trim of the Chevrolet Bolt EUV is called the Premier trim, that gives you a Bose sound system, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, 360-degree cameras, heated steering, heated seats, the works basically. Everything is equipped, fully equipped. It also comes with a rear view mirror camera as well. Under the hood of the Bolt EUV, you got a lithium-ion 65 kilowatt-hour battery that's going to give you about 400 kilometers of range on a full charge, 200 horsepower, 266 pound-feet of torque, and it's got front-wheel drive. It only comes in front-wheel drive no matter with what trim you go with. Let's look at charging for the Bolt EUV. 120 volts is going to get you 6 kilometers per hour. 240 volts is going to give you a full charge in around 7 hours, and that's pretty accurate. I was at like a normal charging station last night, and it was very slow. DC fast charging, that's going to get you 160 kilometers every 30 minutes, so that's a little bit better for the speeds. Taking a look at the back now of the Bolt EUV, you've got the nice, again, blacked out Chevrolet badge. I like how the lights blend in with the body. The nice electric blue color really blends the black very well. A little bit of matte black on the bottom that houses some sensors as well. The Bolt EUV badging is nice as well. You got a rear view wiper right here, and then you have your rear view camera just under the lip here, so snow's not going to affect it at all, and that's for your rear view mirror camera. Very nice. Let's open the trunk for the Bolt EUV. It's not automatic, but we don't really care about that considering the price. I got my charger there ready to go, and I have a whole bunch of space in here, and then I can also pull this little tab, and look at all that space I have on the bottom. You can put smaller stuff on the bottom there, just in case you have bigger stuff that needs to go on the top. If I fold these seats down, I'll have plenty of room for just about anything I need. So with all that stuff being said, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the interior. All right, as always, let's start off with taking a look at the rear of the Bolt EUV. Climb in here, absolutely no problem getting in this one. Let me tell you, it is really spacious. I mean, look at how much room I have in here, right? Like, I have so much room for my knees. Like, I have so much room to go this way or to stay here. Some USB-C and normal USB down here, but look at all the leg room. I mean, it's just insane. No, the seats don't go forward and back or anything like that. It's just kind of standard. You're kind of stuck here. You can see here from the back seat that the front seats, there's not a lot of bolstering at all. It's very thin, but again, we're trying to save money here, so that's okay. And you have a little button here on your left-hand side for the rear heated seats, which is extremely nice to have in this car. And you can see that the seats are like kind of bluish grayish, like a bluish grayish tint. Same thing on the door. It's nice. You have a little fold down thing here too that comes down. You have your cup holders and everything like that. You can just sit, but overall super comfortable here in the rear of the Bolt EUV. All right, now let's take a look at the front seat, the cockpit of the Bolt EUV. Close the door here. Really nice, solid door closing noise. I like that a lot. The doors are kind of heavy too, which I also like. And immediately, as soon as you get in here, everything is just usable. I just know exactly where everything is. I know that this is going to be my climate control on off. I can have heat AC. Ventilated and cooled seats in here, absolutely. Heated seat in here as well, and you have a bunch of normal HVAC. A lot of piano black, and that's not great. I wish they would stop doing that, but you know what? I'll take it for what it is. Really nice infotainment display here that's just simple. Just like we saw on the GMC Terrain Denali, it's the same one here. I love it. It's usable. It's customizable. Like if I don't want this here, look at this. I can customize this thing. I can delete it. I can move it around. Look at this. It's just so usable, so simple. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You know I love that as well. So overall, like, it's really good. The only thing that's kind of weird is you have this knob that, like, you can move around, like, analog with it, and, like, I can press in here and, like, move this around, which is strange. You never need to use that. I don't know why that's there, but I guess if some people might, I guess. And then you can click this little leaf button, and this is interesting, where it kind of will give you like a full breakdown, full report card kind of thing of, since your last full charge, what have you been using? So like in this case, I'm using 19.2 for technique. Terrain has taken a lot. Climate has taken a lot. It's been cold and not cold here. This is stuff like that. And then as you're driving, you can have your flow, you can have your history, you can have your impacts, details, like all this different information that could help you drive more efficiently, and I like that. So continuing on lower here in the Bolt EUV, it just gets more simple. Right here I have a sport mode button, traction control off, lane keep assist, a really nice slot here for my wireless charging, and then I have USB normal and USB-C here, as well as a little charger there too, which is nice. It's just simple, right? This is park, this is reverse, pull this up, press this for neutral. This button right here will control your one pedal driving on or off. And we'll talk about the one pedal driving when we actually drive the car. You can see I have a Bose system down there next to that nice little water bottle holder. Fits a water bottle perfectly, as you can see. The little thing here, you pull this down, plenty of space in there too. Overall, really, really nice. The seats are, again, that kind of bluish, grayish tint that's like, you know, they're comfortable. I like the design on them, you know, nothing really too much to complain about. They're trying to be cost effective with the seats. You can kind of feel it in the back, but it's fine. Nice sunroof up there too, which we forgot to mention in the rear, but it is right there. Nice blue accents on the door too, like we saw in the rear. I really like the design. I mean, it's simple, it's compact, and it's nice. Moving over to the steering wheel, I really like that blacked out Chevrolet logo, a little bit of chrome here on the bottom of the steering wheel. It's a really comfortable, really nice steering wheel. I have some controls here behind the steering wheel for my volume and media control, and then also on the left side I have one paddle shifter right here. That paddle shifter is going to control things like your regen. So if you're not on one pedal driving and you're coasting, you can pull this thing and it will regen a lot harder. It'll brake a lot harder by itself. You have your basic controls here, a little bit of a little bit of wrap leather, and then you have this little light bar that's going to control, giving you your signals for Super Cruise, and I'll explain that more again when we drive. In the center console there, you have some information, like obviously your battery, the most important thing, but you can change it. I can have things like, 40 kilometers, my average speed is 40 kilometers, tire pressure, timer, I don't know why you would need that, speed limit, all this nice stuff. You can change to music, navigation, phone call, and you can have its settings there too. It's just very usable, right? I mean, it's exactly what you want. It's simple. It's got all the information I need there. It'll tell me whether or not I'm regenning on the... You can see that on the bottom right there. And then you'll notice this little camera guy right here. That is also for Super Cruise. That's watching your eyes to make sure that you know what you're doing. And while the car is driving itself, you're not, doing something stupid and like sleeping. It's going to catch you if you're sleeping. It's going to turn off Super Cruise and scream at you. So there you go. That's great. So that is going to do it for the interior tour of the Bolt EUV. Let's take it on the road. Let me strap that GoPro on. I'll be right back. All right. So here we are in the 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EUV, and we're on the road, the exact roads that I've been on in every single video, and I'm in a fully electric car for the first time in a while, and it feels good. It feels good to be back doing the EV stuff. I like the combustion engine stuff. I'll never hate the combustion engine stuff, but it's nice to kind of review the future, if you know what I mean. The Bolt EUV, Chevrolet's been doing electric vehicles kind of before they were popular. Around the same time that Tesla came out, Chevrolet was doing stuff too, and they've kind of just with this vehicle have come into their own, right? Like, I have enjoyed all my time sitting in this car. Overall, it's really, really comfortable. The seats are like, there's not a lot of bolstering, so when I do take sharp turns, you kind of move a little bit, but this isn't a sports SUV. This is a electric utility vehicle. The sport is removed and replaced with it being electric, and it does that perfectly. There's no complaints there. It's not a hybrid or anything like that, so it's absolutely great. I like the ride quality. I like the way that it feels when I turn. It's actually surprisingly, it's a surprising nimble little thing in braking, and when I throw it into corners, if you have traction control off, when the roads aren't so bad, hey, it could turn. It's got a really, really sharp, nice turning radius. It really pulls through the corners well, whether the traction control's on or off. But obviously if you have the traction control off, you're gonna have a little bit more fun. But you know what? It's just, it impressed me. I wasn't expecting it, because it was like, it's an EUV. I'm expecting a lot of body roll. I'm not expecting crazy things. And then I was braking and turning at the same time, and I was like, okay, this has kind of got it, which is surprising for the Bolt EUV, but I'm glad that Chevrolet's implemented a little bit of fun into the otherwise maybe boring side of what you would expect from an electric SUV like this. Visibility in the Bolt EUV is really good too. I mean, the only issue I have is back there, my blind spot, it does like a little swoosh thingy, and it's a little bit like a blind spot kind of thing that I have trouble with. But other than that, up front here, left, right, windshield, I've got really good visibility. I like the ride height too. Getting in and out is nice. You're not like on the floor. You're lower than most SUVs are, but I'm not like completely on the floor, so that's good as well. And overall, I just love how like simple it is to use. I mean, it's as close to a normal driving experience as you get. I mean, electric vehicles are becoming more mainstream, like I said, but the thing is they're not always as simple, they're not always as easy to figure out. The one pedal driving is really, really nice. I let my foot off the gas, it brakes. I don't have to touch the brakes at all. And when I say gas, I mean accelerator, because there's no gas in this car. So when I let my foot off the accelerator, it brakes automatically, no problem. If I pull this paddle here on the left, it will actually brake harder and regen harder. And it shows me here that I'm regenning 27 kilowatts when I just did that braking zone right there. So there you go. So this car does have a sport mode. It's actually the only mode it has. There's nothing else, there's no comfort, anything like that. So I can actually bring it to close to a stop here and then punch it full power. There's that electric kick. Whee, we're gone. That's fun. And oh, there we go, 100. So not the fastest thing in the world. That electric kick kind of tops out at about like 40, maybe 50 kilometers. You know, I'm not really pulling so much anymore, other than just kind of slowly accelerating. But it does have 200 horsepower, and that's more than I expected, to be honest. I thought it would be way less than that. I thought it would be much slower than it is. And you know, in sport mode, it's actually really fun to rip around. Like, just like that initial little kick that you get is really fun and like just nice to use as a whole. So like, and it keeps speed well. Passing slower traffic is not going to be an issue at all. And then I have like this green circle, so like if I'm hitting the gas really hard, it'll tell me like, hey, you're using a whole bunch of power, idiot. So like, you know, if you keep it in the green, you know it's happy, it's using the right amount of power, and it's actually pretty efficient. Like, you can see that my max, I don't know if you can see, but it says my max here in this case, in this situation, in this temperature, in the way that I drive, the max range that I would get at the moment out of the car is 264 kilometers. I think it's rated for up to 400, but these cars are beaten on, so you know, the range is significantly lower in these press cars when you get them, because we beat on them. Like, I'm pressing the friggin' throttle like that. That's not good for range. It's not range efficient at all. So obviously it's a little bit lower, but you know, so far, like, I use a level 1 charger. I charge at home, plug it in the wall outlet, bang. Then I go to work, I charge it there. So like, I always start the day with like 200 kilometers around, and then, you know, I get in the car, have another 200 kilometers. So like, I'm always at 200 kilometers whenever I get in the car usually. So, but I'm leaving the car there for, say I'm at work for 7 hours, and then I'm at home for about 12 hours, we'll just give or take 12 hours. So it's all right? I mean, obviously with these cars, if you have one, I will always recommend getting a level 2 charger. It's just better, you know. But yeah, that 200 horsepower is fun. And because it's an electric vehicle, it's 200 horsepower when you put it to the floor, right? Like, it's just always there. Like, 200 horsepower, I'm you know, bang the throttle, 200 horsepower, bang the throttle again, oh, that was 200 horsepower, you know. So it's never like, oh, that was 180, you know. It's always bang, 200 to the wheel, instant torque, and it's fun. It's fun to do that in sport mode. It's fun to do that on these back roads here. So I think you'll enjoy it if you're daily driving it, right? And I mean, the people that are going to daily drive this thing don't care that it even has 200 horsepower. I don't even think they'd care if it had 160. You know, it's just meant to be efficient, and it's meant to be the electric utility vehicle that it's branded as, and it does that extremely well. But it takes corners really fun there too. So I mentioned that this has Super Cruise, and I'll include some highway driving shots here as I talk about it. So Super Cruise basically is like Tesla's autopilot, but I don't know, I feel like GM has the edge. It definitely, the fact that it's in this car at this price point is an absolute slam dunk on Tesla, right? Like, slam dunk, home run. And it, you know, it drives itself, so it keeps itself in the lane, keeps the speed, keeps the distance between other cars, and can turn the wheel and kind of like, you know, follow the highway, kind of like adaptive cruise control, but a lot more powerful. and it's a lot more measured, and you don't really have to watch. Well, you do have to watch, but it has the camera here that will watch you and make sure that your eyes are at least focused on the road, but you don't have to have your hands on the steering wheel at all. It will never tell you, hey, put your hands on the steering wheel, but it will tell you, hey, pay attention. So I mean, you have that good trade-off. And I mean, people that drive Teslas, they have those things they put on the wheels anyway, so it doesn't matter. They don't pay attention anyway. So I mean, it's just not safe to circumvent the system like that. This, with the Chevrolet Bolt, you don't have to do that. You just press your Super Cruise button, and then you're on your way. I can't do it right now because I'm on back roads, but I will be on the highway later on, and I will show you some B-roll of that. As like I said, as I talk about it, you should be seeing it, or have already seen it. And this light bar lights up green to show me that yes, Super Cruise is enabled, and it's happy. If it's flashing blue, it's because I have control of the car. Either I'm pressing the accelerator or the brake, or I'm changing lanes. Some versions, GM versions that have Super Cruise, they can change lanes by themselves. This one cannot. You just change a lane, you recenter the car in the lane, Super Cruise will take over. It's worth mentioning though that Super Cruise is only enabled on mapped out roads. You can look at GM's website to see if your road is mapped out. But basically, you get it up to highway speeds, you press your Super Cruise button, and you take your hands off the steering wheel, and it basically drives you to the exit that you need to get off of. And it's just nice to just sit there. You listen to music, you look around a little bit more. Obviously, you still have to watch the road, but you have that ability to look around, see the sights a little bit more, enjoy the music, enjoy the podcast that you're listening to, and just chill. And that is the best feature of the Bolt EUV by a mile. It's the most impressive thing. I love it. I use it all the time. I have a commute of about 80 kilometers a day, and I maybe drive like 20 of those now because most of it's highway, and I'm using Super Cruise for all of that. So it's so nice. You also have in this Chevrolet Bolt, when you're backing up, doing different things, as simple as it is to change gears, well, it's also even simple because you have a nice kind of overhead camera, a backup camera, a front-facing camera, and you can switch between them dynamically, just like I showed you in the GMC Terrain. It is here again, with the Bolt, and I love that GMC, how they integrate their things, how they integrate their systems. It's just clean, it's nice, it's easy, it's simple, it's exactly what you want out of a car. You can't complain. I'd say, yes, this car at MSRP is very, very expensive, and you're approaching base level IONIQ 5 price point if you don't have government incentives. If you do have government incentives, me living here in Quebec, I have 5,000 from Canada and 7,000 from Quebec at the time of filming. So that is a really, really good deal when you look at things like that. It's perfect. So this car becomes super affordable and fully loaded. This is the Premier version, so I have a bunch of different things that you don't get on the lower version. But even if you do get the lower version, the government incentives are still there, and that car is even cheaper. Obviously, don't get Super Cruise. It is a $2,000 add-on. Don't get it if it's not activated in your area. Check before you do that, otherwise you're going to waste money. But if it is worth the $2K. If you think about it, Tesla's autopilot thing, fully self-driving thing, costs like $20,000. It's ridiculous and absolute ripoff, so I think you could only use that thing half the time. So there you go. The Chevrolet Bolt as a whole has been excellent this week, and I think that's going to do it. So yeah, overall, buy the Chevrolet Bolt. If you just have a small commute, you're not really road tripping, this car won't be good at road tripping until the electric charging infrastructure is better. Until then, you're not going to want to do road trips with this car. It doesn't have that much range, and you're going to be charging a lot more than you'd like. So I wouldn't recommend it for that, but just normal city driving, your work commute, it could be a cheap car. You could be getting a lot more for a lot less if government incentives apply in your area, and it's just simple to use. It's comfortable. One pedal driving is nice. Super Cruise, impeccable. I love it. And yeah, the overall Chevrolet Bolt EUV, very good car. I recommend that you test drive it, check it out in your local area, see what's going on. And yeah, if you like the video, make sure you subscribe. Let me know if I've helped you make that ultimate buying decision. I know it's tough. I know there's so much competition now, especially if you're in the market for EVs. It's hard to get your hands on one. So let me know if you're on a waiting list for a Bolt, if you like the Bolt. Let me know if I missed something. I know you love to do that, so continue to do that. It's fine. I love having the conversation with you guys in the comments. Let me know if you have any additional questions about the Bolt EUV. So yeah, if you made it this far in the video, it's obligatory that you subscribe. There's absolutely no option. There is no choice. You must absolutely subscribe right now. No choice. Do it. Like the video. And with that being said, before I ramble too much about the Bolt EUV, I will see you in the next video. Take care.